Yeah, I'm about 4 weeks into RV hauling. I drove a tractor trailers, semi as the Canadians call it, semi and trailer, and owner operator for a while. Economy goes bust, equipment piece of crap, government lies to you all the time, EPA made you do the GPF and all that good shit on the semis. Had an 09 Peterbilt, piece of crap. I wouldn't never buy another Peterbilt. I'd never buy anything with a DPF ever again, a DF. It's too much bullshit. You know, you place one engine for $40,000. Second engine, second time, 900,000 miles. Like, I'm done. You can't put a $40,000 engine into a $12,000 truck. I junked it for $7,000. Cool part. Then my reefer trailer I had, 2013 reefer trailer, utility. Cold storage, American Cold Storage down in Seabury, Kentucky, destroyed my trailer. Broke the floor, broke the walls. I sold it to a bunch of foreigners. Came out even on that. Drove local for the last couple of years. Either they want you to work 14-hour days, or I like, you know what, I can't do that anymore. So now I'm hauling RVs for a living. Is there any money in it? Not really, I don't think so. Yeah, time you pay for fuel, you get half of that. So if you take maintenance out, your cost of food out, everything else out, you're making very little money. I'll get to that in another video. But I'm not out here to do anything but my last hurrah, basically. I've traveled my whole life, seems like. Driving truck, first trip, 10 years old. Family, you think about this. 71-year-old grandfather, 71-year-old grandmother, 40-year-old mother, 19-year-old oldest brother, and a 16-year-old young middle brother, and 10-year-old me. 1967 Impala 4-door with a 327, canary yellow blacktop. We left Fort Branch, Indiana, headed for California. That was a 2-week trip. We followed my uncle, Abe Dillback, his wife Effie, Billy, Kathy, and Doug. In one car, they had a Cadillac, Fleetwood probably, known Abe. And Enid Meyer and his family, Denise, oldest daughter, I know the second daughter's name, and the little boy Bruce. We all followed each other out to California. We split off at different times and met back up. I don't know how we did that. No cell phones back in them days. No communications back in them days. And my brother went to pass a pickup in Gunnison, Colorado. He did most of the driving. And oldest brother, Dennis. And the pickup truck turned into us. So we back and forth or what? Seems kind of strange. And that's where I'm going to end up later on this trip is Gunnison. Not because of the wreck, but because 20 or probably 30 years ago now, or probably more than 30 years ago, I found out a grade school football coach we had named Jim Sprinkle was out here hunting and fishing guide and owned a sporting goods store. He's probably every bit of 80 years old if he's alive today. So I'm going to see when I get out there to Gunnison, Colorado, if old Jim Sprinkle's alive or dead. When I was in 8th grade, coming back to football practice at the Fort Branch Park, got to the old gym. Coach hollered at me because I cut across the person's yard, across the Matterbury's gas station. And the coach hollered at me. And I said, huh. Well, if you knew Jim Sprinkle, you could see he'd get red in his face. He was pissed off all the time about something. So he said, stand by the door. So I put my football helmet on, put my chin strap on. I knew what was coming. Sprinkle grabbed me, picked me up off the ground, slammed me against a brick wall 3 or 4 times, telling me you don't say hi or anything to a coach ever. I look on back on it now, and I was disrespectful. I always was as a kid. Thought I was something I wasn't. And I'm going to see if that old man's there, if he remembers that. I think I'd get a kick out of that.